runaway UPS truck crashes through cars in a Denver neighborhood.
I mean, what are you going to do? I kind of just took a deep breath and said, okay.
Contact Denver7's pushing UPS for answers about what happened.
Plus, Colorado joins nearly every other state in a lawsuit against Facebook. And state leaders reveal their plan to vaccinate the state. For most of us, it means waiting until summer.
This vaccine is really the gateway to the end of the pandemic.
All right, we're going to begin, though, with a stark reality. At the current pace, 3,000 Coloradans will have died from coronavirus by the end of the year.
Our state reported 149 new deaths today, one of the largest single-day totals since the pandemic began. There are signs we are headed in the right direction. 1,684 hospital beds are in use by people with the virus or virus symptoms. While that number is high, it is the first time it's dropped below 1,700 since Thanksgiving. There were more than 3,700 new cases reported today, and we are now on pace to pass 300,000 cases by Christmas. But there is hope on the horizon. Colorado gets its very first dose of the vaccine in just a few days. Now comes the challenge of getting the vaccine to Coloradans. Denver7's Jacqueline Allen joins us with the first look at the state's plan.
Well, the state just rolled out this revised three-phase plan for who gets the vaccine just this afternoon. This first phase starting as soon as the vaccine is delivered, which could be as early as next week, but it's going to be months before phase 3, when everyone can get it.
This vaccine is really the gateway to the end of the pandemic.
Governor Jared Polis laying out Colorado's new three-phase plan. The first doses go to healthcare workers with direct COVID-19 patient contact and people living and working in long-term care facilities. Next, healthcare workers who have less contact with infected patients and first responders. Phase 2 will likely start in the spring. High-risk people ranging from essential workers to teachers in all of these categories. Finally, Phase 3, opening vaccinations to the general public, probably starts in the summer.
This timeline is also dependent on the federal government sending us the weekly shipments of the vaccine.
Colorado has already ordered almost 47,000 doses of the Pfizer vaccine and will order more than 95,000 doses of the Moderna vaccine this week. Distribution is the next big hurdle, complicated by the need for ultra-cold storage. We showed you the state's simulated dry run Tuesday. Today, the map of distribution centers. Eventually, health officials say every county will have access to the vaccine, it will be free, and it will eventually end this pandemic.
Now we're looking towards the next important, optimistic, hopeful, exciting phase, the triumph of modern science.
Triumph of modern science. We know there will be a lot of questions about these phases and the providers. The state just launched a new vaccine website to try to answer those questions. We've linked it to thedenverchannel.com. Jessica?
Thank you, Jacqueline. Canada became the third country to approve Pfizer's COVID vaccine. They will get their first doses early next week. The UK National Health Service says people with a history of significant allergic reactions to food or medicine should not get Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine. 2 healthcare workers had allergic reactions shortly after being vaccinated. They are both fine. Both had a long history of allergies. It is common for a vaccine to come with a warning for people with allergies. UK officials say the vaccine is safe for the vast majority of people.
Lawmakers in Capitol Hill are trying to buy some time to get a second stimulus deal done. Today, the House passed a stopgap funding measure. Now, funding was supposed to run out this Friday. If this is approved by the House, we will have enough money to make it through next Friday. Lawmakers from both parties have said, though, they hope to come up with a long-term funding solution and a stimulus package. Well, the neighbors who saw this surveillance video have every right to be upset about that delivery truck. That is crazy. Careening down the street and sideswiping all those cars.
Tonight, they're sharing their story with Denver7's Lance Hernandez while they wait for a call from UPS.
The crash caught on camera.
I heard a massive explosion outside.
Erica Gom and her young son had been working out in her flower beds just minutes before.
So I ran to the front door, peeked my head out, and I saw a UPS truck had slammed into our neighbors' cars that were parked out on the street.
A neighbor told her the Gom's tow truck and trailer had been hit too, knocking some industrial equipment into her front yard.
After it hit the trailer, it kind of skidded along and then hit the fender, ripped the tire.
From there, it slammed into 3 cars. Gabriela Agustin Sanchez says her dad had put a lot of hard work and hard-earned cash fixing up the Ford.
Cars are his passion. He's always working on cars, but that was one of his most prized, possessions, and he was very proud of it.
That Ford, now a crumpled heap of metal, rubber, and plastic. According to the police report, the driver said he'd made a delivery, jumped back in, but the truck wouldn't start. Then it popped out of gear and started rolling backwards, hitting parked cars and trucks.
We're heading into the holidays, and this is our work truck, so we kind of need some action.
Gom says she reached out to UPS 4 or 5 days in a row to ask about their damage claim.
Every day someone said somebody will contact you by the end of the day, and that has yet to happen.
We asked UPS how soon they'll contact the victims. UPS sent a statement saying they're thankful everyone is safe, they're investigating the situation, and will respond accordingly. Gom hoping it's sooner rather than later.
Call me, UPS. Give me a call.
Lance Hernandez, Denver7.
Wow. Facebook may have to sell off some of its biggest assets, including Instagram and WhatsApp. The social media giant's facing legal challenges from 46 states. In fact, Colorado Attorney General Phil Weiser played a leading role in the case, which claims Facebook is operating an illegal monopoly, using money and influence to buy their competitors or run them out of business. Now, Facebook has not responded to the lawsuit. The states want to force Facebook to restructure or sell a lot of the companies it bought over the last decade.
In less than an hour, we expect a group of parents in Jeffco to rally for schools to reopen in January. Organizers will lead a caravan from the district headquarters to the county public health office. We spoke to a pediatrician and Jeffco parent who says he's growing more concerned about his young patients who are learning from home.
We definitely are seeing anxiety, depression. There's been an increase in the amount of mental health consults that we're doing.
The Jeffco Board of Education will be meeting during the rally tonight, but their agenda does not say if they'll be discussing a return to in-person learning.
Douglas County School District could finalize its plan for next semester at tomorrow night's meeting. And it is possible elementary students will get back to in-person learning 5 days a week next month. The district's also looking at a hybrid model for at-risk students and those with special needs. And Denver Public Schools unveiled its plan to resume in-person learning last night. Elementary students will return to class January 11th. Middle and high schoolers gradually head back to school starting January 19th. By February 1st, all students whose families chose in-person learning will return to school campuses.
Frontline workers are concerned that the state is not doing enough to protect their health and well-being. Since this summer, more than 1,000 complaints have been filed on the COVID Unsafe Worksite reporting form, which is managed by the Colorado AFL-CIO. The organization wants stricter enforcement. They also want state officials to set up a hotline for workers to file complaints.
We need timely investigations into the complaints, again, at the state level. We need enforcement on businesses in violation, and we need regular report outs detailing the number of complaints, the number of complaints investigated, and the outcomes and the actions taken.
You can report any workplace safety concerns to OSHA or your local health department.
I hope you've enjoyed this nice warm weather because big changes are on the way.
A man says he was scammed while trying to buy a Pomeranian. Tonight, contact Denver7 stepping in to help.
We always get back up. It just, sometimes it takes longer than expected.
Plus, researchers break down the link between lockdowns and binge drinking. And a Colorado classic is under new ownership.